a business
man. That's right.
Hey, again, let me shout out our 382nd affiliate of Cheryl Underwood Radio, Griffin Radio, an internet radio station based in Salt Lake City, Utah. That's right, 382 affiliates. Griffin Radio's program director is Earl Burnett. Earl Burnett is the program director of Griffin Radio under Griffin Media in Salt Lake City, Utah. 382 affiliates. That's what happens when you put God first.
This is KLEKLP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council.
Good Wednesday morning, Jonesboro. This is meteorologist Tim Root with your KLEK 102.5 FM weather. Spotty showers and thunderstorms today, spotty sunshine, the high around 90. A chance of more showers and thunderstorms tonight in the low 70s, partly to mostly cloudy. Showers and thunderstorms expected Thursday, and the high temperature in the low 80s. Those showers and thunderstorms will continue Thursday night into Friday, and the high Friday 80 to 85. Educate, entertain, and empower. We're KLEK 102.5 FM.
From Feature Story News in London, I'm Ollie Barrett. The opposition in Sudan claims dozens of bodies have been pulled out of the River Nile after a crackdown on demonstrators started on Monday. In India, efforts continue to retrieve the bodies of 5 climbers believed to have been killed in an avalanche in the Himalayas last week. Several people are feared dead in Uganda after a landslide hit the eastern part of the country. And US President Donald Trump's joined Britain's Queen and other dignitaries in the city of Portsmouth for D-Day commemorations.
It's 9:01.
Community Conversations is brought to you by Arkansas Early Learning, offering no-cost childcare in Jonesboro and Northeast Arkansas. Applications at arearlylearning.org.
Arkansas Early Learning is a nonprofit organization.
KLEK LP Jonesboro, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council. It's now time for Community Conversations, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place, while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.
KLEK 102.5 FM, good morning to you on your Wednesday. It's June 5th, 2019. This is Community Conversations. Kato Wonder is in the studio with you, filling in for Quabila, who is out for the next couple of days. Well, I'm going to try my best to hold it down. As this is the first Wednesday of the month, we are joined, as always, by Jonesboro Police Chief Rick Elliott, and joining Chief Elliott is Mrs. Sally Smith, who is the Public Information Specialist for the Police Department. And also we're joined by Officer Jonathan Hagens and new Officer Brian Merrill. So we definitely appreciate each and every one of you for stopping through the studio today. So Chief, how's it going?
Oh, it's going well, and good morning to everyone out there. It's a pleasure to be here again on the first Wednesday of the month, as always. So hopefully we have a good show for everybody today, and if you got any questions or anything for us, give us a call as this show is fixing to start.
Actually, well, the show's on live, and of course, you can also leave your questions and your comments on our Facebook Live feed. And if you would like to call in, the phone number is 870-277-1080. So, Chief, we had you on earlier this morning for the Bible study, which you can go back on our page and watch. Of course, watch after this video. And you mentioned that your day has already started pretty hectic because there was a shooting last night. So that kind of just goes into how you never know what's going to happen when you wake up and start your day.
Well, my day started when the call came in that, we had a shooting in the city last night. So any critical incident like that goes on, I get informed no matter what time of day or night. So there's a lot of times during the middle of the night I awaken to answer a phone or a text message about events that are taking place within the city. It depends on the incident. If it's something really critical, I'll get up out of bed and along with Sally, and we will respond to the scene and assess and get the information out.
Did you all come out for this particular incident?
No, I did not last night. Sally, of course, she had to get up out of bed and get some information gathered and get posted.
Okay, so Sally, let's kind of talk about that a little bit. So, kind of tell what goes through your mind when you get woken up in the middle of the night. Obviously, this was part of the job you signed up for, but you get that call saying this incident has happened. You got to throw on some clothes, get your pen and paper, write out details, and then put out some information, to the awaiting media and the awaiting public.
Right. Usually what happens is I'll get that call in the middle of the night. I try to get up as quickly as possible and get as much information from the desk sergeant or whoever the OIC officer in charge on the scene. I'll gather that information up. I'll usually start typing up my story. By that time, I usually get calls from other media outlets wanting to know confirmation, what happened, give me the details so that they can post. So I basically just gather up everything I can, and I'm usually with that story anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes, preparing and then getting it on our Facebook page. And depending on how critical the situation is, if it had been let's say, a little more critical than what it was last night, then I'll post something on our website to get it out to media sources and other people that are wanting to know the information. I think it's very imperative for us to get it out as quickly and as accurately as possible so that people in Jonesboro know what's going on within our city limits.
Okay, and since we are on this subject, one thing that I wanted to ask you all about and kind of get some more clarity on is recently there has been some changes in how incidents are reported, and there's been a little bit of controversy involved. I believe it started with the incident with the officer that had shot the dog during a training exercise, and the information did not immediately come out, and some local media outlets did some digging and discovered that this information did not come out in a timely manner. So it's been kind of like a little tug of war of the media wanting information immediately and reports not being released, and the mayor had ordered changes, including having these incidents posted on the website. But kind of just walk through that timeline of what happened and give your response.
Absolutely. First, the mayor did not order a change. This is something that we had informed the mayor that we're going to be doing on our own. So that quote that was put in the paper was incorrect. We were already ahead. This was already our plan, and it had been our plan, and working on this for several months, as posting our reports online. So that is a piece of incorrect information. As regards to the incident with the dog, I was out of town at a conference during that time, and the administrative captain overseeing the internal affairs investigation didn't think it was necessary at that point to put anything out, which, hindsight is, we should have put something out a little sooner, in spite of the fact that it was an internal affairs investigation. So, lesson learned from it, that, anything like that takes place again, then we will obviously get information, put out. It may not be complete details if it is an internal affairs until the case is closed, but we will get something posted. So, we took a black eye over it, and you live and learn from mistakes, and you go on.
Okay, so let's talk about how the reporting incidents changed. I believe from what it used to, because I believe, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that now when the reports are released, there's like a certain amount of information that is released just to get something out, whereas the rest of the information may still, pending the investigation, may not be immediately available.
Right. Let's just back up a few years. When I took over, we tried to make changes and be as transparent as possible. And used to, the media would have to come to the station and get the reports off the clipboard. Had to sit down and take their notes off, a daily board. And we came up with a process that streamlined this for the media and to get the information out there a lot quicker and to all the media outlets in a quicker fashion. So as you know, we set up what we call an FTP server. All of our reports are dumped on the server. The media can go through and pick and choose what they wish to report on. Under the law, there are certain reports, if they're under investigation, we cannot release that information until the investigation is closed. That's following the Freedom of Information guidelines that are set forth in our legislation. So we took that step even further, and we came up with an Excel spreadsheet listing all the reports. So the first report from the first day of the year to where we are today, all those reports are listed on a spreadsheet, all the numbers in consecutive order, and it tells you the case number, the date, the time, the victim's name, the suspect's name, the MO, all the critical information. It's all there. So that's the way I can say it's accountability. So, we're not hiding anything. It's all there. Now, whether or not you get the entire report, if it's under investigation, no, you may not. But the fact of the matter is, there's never been a report hidden from the public, as it has been alluded to by a certain media outlet in the city of Jonesboro. We've been accused of hiding hundreds, if not thousands, of reports. And that, my friends, is inaccurate. That is a false statement. That is a wrong statement that this outlet has yet to go back and correct it. There is a system of accountability. They have reported on every incident that has taken place. Especially the violent incidents, that information always goes out to the media, and they may not get the completed investigative report for several months because it may take months or longer to complete an investigation, and some investigations may go on beyond that. We have 20 detectives. We generate over 10,000 reports a year in this city, so we're limited on manpower and how much time they can spend on a report. So they work on multiple reports at any given time. So I just want the public to be aware that, there's a system of accountability. It's out there. It's always been out there for the media to look at, and we deal with 14, 15 media outlets every day, and there's only one that seems to have a problem the way we're doing business. And I think that we are being open, fair, and transparent. And again, we have taken other steps to get this information out to the public. We have recently upgraded our Facebook profile. We have a digital media specialist that handles our Facebook. So everything we're doing, that information is put on there up to date, because we feel that the people of Jonesboro have the right to know immediately what's going on in Jonesboro. They should not have to wait till 5 o'clock in the morning and walk down the driveway and pick up the newspaper and pick it up to see what's going on. Today's times, news media, things are out there. It's fluid. It's fast moving, and so we want to get that information out there just as bad as the media wants to get it out there. So it's one-stop shopping. The media can go to our Facebook, our website, and they can access reports, and they can access, what is happening current at any point in time during the day. So you as a general public, I encourage you to do the same. If you have an interest of what's going on with the Jonesboro Police Department, just go to our Facebook page, you can check in and out to see current events as they unfold within the city. If you desire to look at the current police reports, you can go to our website, jonesboropolice.com, and go to the section under community outreach public information. I'm sorry, and there's a link there to the spreadsheet, as I've recently talked about, and then the reports. Reports stay online for 48 hours after they're published. Then they will go down, and the next batch will be up. That's just to save space on the server. So, in the interest of being transparent, we have gone above and beyond what most agencies do. And I'll say again, I resent the fact that we've been accused of that we've hidden reports and things like that, which is totally false.
And just kind of touching on it a little bit, again, don't want to beat the dead horse, but because of the perceptions that are floating around, you have members of the community that think that crime is being suppressed. I've seen comments on social media that there's a lot more crime going on, but it's not being reported, or that the quote-unquote under investigation is used to sweep it under the rug to portray Jonesboro in a more positive light.
Yeah, that is, we'll just start and say that's fake news. It's a common term used across the country nowadays. No, in fact, when you go to our website, we do monthly crime mapping. So all of our crime is mapped out. There's nothing that doesn't go undetected. Again, you have the spreadsheet with all the case numbers that are listed, so you can see what stabbings, shootings, robberies that have taken place, and it's reported on. So there's nothing hidden. There's a system of checks and balances. If you take the time and just go through and take a look.
Sally looks like she's itching to say something.
I am.
Well, go ahead. Well, let's pass the mic to Sally.
Basically, I was hired January 7th and brought on to the department as their public information specialist, as you know. Prior to my arrival, they were doing daily blotters, basically sending out the sheet every day, putting it on the FTP server for the media to access. Public couldn't access it. It was just the media. So what we ended up doing is we did implement this spreadsheet because I thought, there's got to be a better way of keeping up with everything that we are generating through our RPS system. So we did implement that. Now, the only problem is, again, it was just going to the media. So we decided May 14th to start posting on our website. Basically, we want everybody to have access because, again, we were getting complaints, we're hearing that you're hiding things. We're hearing all this negativity. Well, in order to combat the negativity, we decided to go ahead and if we're going to be fully compliant with transparency, let's go ahead and put them on our website. At any time, if somebody wants to request a report, that is what that spreadsheet's there for. They can go back and look at a number and they can request it at any time. All they have to do is email me at smith@jonesboro.org and I will be glad to send them what information I can on that report, if not the report itself. And most of the time I can send the report. Now there's going to be some information that under the Freedom of Information I'll have to extract simply because it's either protecting a victim of a sexual assault or something like that. But and I have guidelines that I have to go by. I can't release certain information just because it could be detrimental to an investigation or it's just information I'm not by law able to release.
Personal information.
Right, correct. Personal information that would definitely identify somebody.
All right.
So, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just for those just tuning in. We are speaking with Jonesboro Police Chief Rick Elliott. We are also speaking with Mrs. Sally Smith, the Public Information Specialist for the Police Department, and Officer Jonathan Higgins, who you can hear on KLEK every single day. He is one of the two voices of our PSAs for recruitment for the Jonesboro Police Department, and he has his trainee, Officer Brian Merrill. We only got about 5 minutes left in this segment, so I won't go into too much new topics just yet, but did want to bring in Officer Higgins. And when you hear this discussion, how does it affect your job? I mean, because you're not in administration, you're boots on the ground, you're out patrolling the community. Do you see things like this as a distraction to the job that you're trying to do?
Yes, I think it's a backlash to it, and when I say that, to getting stuff out in the public, and when I say that because now nobody wants to be in the paper as a witness. Nobody wants to be in the paper as I was a victim of this certain crime. It's just how it is. I've had somebody call me when I was working at the desk, and I answered the phone. The first thing they said, I want to know why y'all think it's everybody's business that y'all put this report. I'm like, I can't tell what it was, but this report in the paper. And I was like, first of all, it's freedom of information. We didn't put it in the report, put it in the paper, or put it on the news, or put it on social media. That's just freedom of information. I said, and certain stuff they couldn't put in there. She said, yeah, but everybody know it. Everybody know what happened. And she was upset.
Now that's an interesting perspective. We've heard about where people feel like they have the right to know everything that's going on, but you're saying at the same time it's kind of made your job a little more difficult because now witnesses don't want to speak, or maybe someone who potentially saw a crime may be more hesitant to go forward, thinking that their business is going to be put out there. So it's a give and take, and it's a balance. So it's definitely an unintended consequence of the system that's in place.
It's simple stuff like, a guy found a wallet or a cell phone. Well, he turned it in, which was the right thing to do, but he said, I'm refusing information. I don't want to be in the paper. I don't want to be on social media as the person that found these people wallet, and then they said something missing, and now they're looking me up on social media and you took my card out of it. So he just handed the wallet and the cell phone in and was like, I'm done with it.
All right, so let's bring Chief back into the discussion, hearing what Officer Hagens stated. Obviously, you as Chief have to balance your responsibility and making sure the public stays informed.
Sure.
But at the same time, you're hearing what Officer Hagens saying,
Well,
that
this
is making people less likely to come forward. So how do you balance those two out?
You're correct. But you know what? In the history of law enforcement, anytime we generate a report, it is a public record. And due to the fact that where the media is nowadays, looking at reports and getting information out there, it comes to light, sooner, and there's more of it. It has jeopardized cases. We cannot put the information out there. If we generate the report, it is public information. Now, if it's under investigation, like I said earlier, then a lot of the details do not go out until the case is closed. But it has hampered reports. It has hampered investigations. We have had investigations terminated because of the information that was put in the paper. Recently, we had a young child that was sexually assaulted by a family member, and the local media outlet put all the details in there, and when this child went to school, she was re-victimized because everybody started bringing it up that, hey, we figured this out, what happened to you. And it was unfortunate that the mother and child had dropped the case, and they moved away from the city to avoid this negativity. And the sad thing is, this child was a true victim, and the person that done this should be in jail. But because of the fact that particular media outlet wanted to give all the details instead of being a little vague, that they victimized this child again. And this happens over and over. Used to in the past, some of the outlets may not give specific addresses of a location. They just may say in the 1800 block of whatever street, this incident took place. And so, there's ways to get the information out there, but not exactly pinpoint. But I have no control of what the media does or doesn't do. Used to, it was about their ethics. And,
all right, Chief, we're going to have to leave it there. We got about 15 seconds before we go to break. But when we come back from the other side of the break, we'll have more of our discussion with members of the Jonesboro Police Department. And we're going to bring in Officer Merrill. He's in training, so we're going to get his thoughts on the stuff here. Don't go anywhere. This is KLEK 102.5 FM.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
Wouldn't it be great to have a conflict-free marriage? I'm Mark Merrill with today's Family Minute. A conflict-free marriage is not reality, but you can learn to resolve conflict well. So here are 3 ways to put conflict to rest in your marriage. The R in rest stands for review. Review the problem. Pinpoint the exact issue of the conflict and get on the same page. The E stands for evaluate. Evaluate options. Have a brainstorm session with your spouse discussing different ideas, solutions, and compromises. S is for solve. Solve the problem. Together with your spouse, choose a solution and put it into action. The T stands for track. Track your progress. Set a time to follow up on how your solution is working. Remember, your family first.
For more resources on today's topic, go to markmerrill.com.
Family Minute is made possible by the Kappa Nu Omega chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, a non-profit organization committed to service to all mankind. Kappa Nu Omega Alpha Kappa Alpha on Facebook and KNOMEGA 1908
Family Minute is brought to you by the Gears Foundation, a nonprofit organization providing students with assistance in their academic and career pursuits. Gears Foundation on Facebook, Gears_Inc. on Instagram, and the Gears Foundation at gmail.com.
LEK 102.5 FM will host our second annual Juneteenth celebration Saturday, June 15th, starting at 10 a.m. Parker Park Community Center, 1506 North Church Street in Jonesboro. This year's theme is Fulfilling the Dreams of Our Ancestors. There will be speakers providing educational information, our sweet potato pie contest, barbecue cook-off to see who's the best on the grill, head wrap competition, and line dance-off. Prizes will be awarded for each competition. There also will be bounce houses and games for the whole family to enjoy. Special Juneteenth t-shirts are also available for sale. We would love for the community as a whole to be a part of this celebration. If you would like to be a part of our Juneteenth celebration or enter any of our Juneteenth contests, visit our website, klekfm.org, or call us at 870-277-1080.
Support for KLEK is brought to you by
a story about a good friend and a farmer. He'd found a farm he wanted to buy and talked to his wife, and she was okay with it. Another piece of land came up for sale, and his wife said, before you buy more land, you're going to have to let me work on our house. Each time he mentioned land, his wife mentioned a house. A friend of his told him one day, he said, if you keep buying land, you're going to have the largest house in this county. Glenn sang, God bless our troops.
Attention all Razorback fans, the voice of diversity, in collaboration with the Yvonne Richardson Charity Foundation, presents a Toast and Roast of Nolan Richardson, hosted by yours truly, Steve Sullivan. Special guest Tubby Smith as we honor Coach Richardson. The Toast and Roast of the one and only Nolan Richardson will be held June 28th at the Fayetteville Town Center. The legendary event starts at 6:30.
Come on, all you Razorback fans, let's stand up and call those home!
More information is available via Terrell Byers 501-960-1517. The Voice of Diversity is a nonprofit organization. KLEK 102.5 FM wants to be active in the community. If you or your organization is hosting a community service event, we would like to know about it and be a part of it. KLEK will promote your event on air, online, and on social media. KLEK personalities may also attend the event and provide music and or entertainment. Certain restrictions and availability may apply. If you or your organization would like to partner with KLEK to make the Jonesboro community a better place, call 870-277-1080 or email us at klek@klekfm.org. In order for a community announcement or church announcement to be aired on KLEK 102.5 FM, we ask that the announcement be sent at minimum 1 week in advance. Thank you for supporting KLEK 102.5 FM.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
And we're back on Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM with our guest members of the Jonesboro Police Department. We have Jonesboro Police Chief Rick Elliott, Mrs. Sally Smith, the Public Information Specialist for the department, Officer Jonathan Hagens, and new Officer Brian Merrill. And once again, we want to thank each and every one of you for checking in and being a part of this interview today. Of course, if you have any questions or comments, you can give us a call at 870-277-1080, or you can leave your questions or comments on our Facebook Live feed. We've got a few questions and comments, so I'm going to just go right to it. Stan Moore says, thanks to Sally for helping myself and other press late last night. Melissa Tomley Elliott says, I hope I don't get in trouble for my thoughts, but she doesn't actually say what they are. Betty McAdoo says, I agree. We work wrecks and house fires with victims, and the news is out before we even get done with a run. Shout out to Robin S. Kuykendall, who is checking in. And Becky follows with, no one cares about the families and our mindset at the time. They just want to get the news, and she put news in all caps in. And David Carnes says, I have to agree, Jonesboro Police Department is the most transparent and one of the most professional departments I have encountered. The integrity and courageous behavior the Jonesboro officers show is beyond exemplary. Thank you to Sally Smith and her transparency within the department. She is doing a fantastic job. And again, Chief Elliott, Jonesboro can't thank you enough for the leadership you show towards our communities and the city in whole. I'm a proud CPA member of the best police department in Arkansas. And of course, David and I were in session 2 together, so shout out to you, David. And shout out to Paul Holmes. who is watching. And I'm sure Paul gave you some great advice on your role as public information specialist. So we're going to go ahead and transition to the next topic of discussion. Hot topic in the city of Jonesboro is the Team Jonesboro proposal, which if you go on our Facebook, you can see the meeting from last night, the city council, where they had the first of 3 readings. But the proposal is proposing a 1 cent sales tax increase, and half of the tax will go to support police and fire, and the other half will go towards a quality of life project. But we're going to kind of focus mainly on police and fire. Obviously, Chief Elliott, you have spoken in favor of this proposal.
Absolutely.
So kind of give more about your thoughts on this Team Jonesboro proposal and how you feel it'll help the department.
Right. Well, we'll start with the police aspect of this. You know, we're at a point at the police department that we have to grow. I'm in need of manpower. You know, the past 10 years, the city has grown over 15,000 people in population. During the day, there's well over 100,000 people in town, you know, doing business day in and day out. And these officers are, you know, doing good just to maintain going from call to call, accident to accident. They're not having much time to do any proactive policing. So we need additional boots on the ground. You know, we have battled shortages, you know, during my tenure here as chief. You know, right now we're fully staffed, which is a blessing. But it is time that we grow the department by, I'd like to add about another 30 officers in the next few years. Absolutely.
Get those applications in now.
Yeah, but you know. But then on top of that, our equipment, we have a lot of equipment that is at the end of life. These portable radios that these officers are carrying, they're at the end of life. They have served their purpose. Motorola is no longer servicing them. If the radio goes down, then I have to replace that radio. And the average cost is about $3,500. So if you take that times, I have 365 radios, you know, that's replacement costs. So that's an immediate expenditure that the city's going to be facing here in the near future. This is not anything new. This has been a topic of discussion ever since I've been chief, that we know that you know, the system has an end of life period, and we've talked about it over the years and start planning on it. And along with this upgrade, we have tower site upgrades that go along with the project. So the proposal that I've received from our current provider, Motorola, we're about $8 million by the time we upgrade everything that needs to be done for public safety. So that's a big expense. And right now the city does not have that money in the reserves to cover that. So this is a huge expense, and then this is another reason for the sales tax for the public safety aspect of it. You know, in addition, our buildings, we're in some buildings that are in need of repair, that may not be structurally, you know, sound or having some problems, and it's time to, you know, either invest a lot of money in them or get out of them. And I would like to build down on Caraway Road and get the police department back together in one location.
So expanding the building that you currently have.
Absolutely. You know, the buildings we have down in Washington, they're old, they're having some structural problems, and you know, it's just time that we upgrade. And then we go start looking at other equipment needs of these officers that, you know, we have to keep up with, vehicles, things like that. And with budget cuts in the past few years, I haven't been able to buy as many replacement vehicles that I need.
I think I read where you replaced 5, but in actuality, you need to replace much more than that.
Yeah, this year we, you know, needed about 15 vehicles, and budget cuts, I got 5. So there comes a point in time, we have such a large fleet, we have everything on a rotation schedule, and you know, comes a point in time where a vehicle becomes a maintenance issue, a maintenance problem. It's time to get rid of it. And so we try to keep the fleet up to date. And even though we have 2 full-time mechanics, we can actually have extended the life of the fleet now that we have these 2 certified mechanics on staff. But they still wear out, especially patrol vehicles. These vehicles are run day in and day out, and they take a lot of abuse and a lot of wear and tear, so they just don't last. Now the administrative vehicles, the detective vehicles, we get anywhere from 11, 14 years out of that vehicle, so they do last. But again, we have 180 vehicles in fleet, and it takes a lot to keep fleet going and keep it updated. So there's some other equipment issues that need to be addressed within the department, computers, things like that, and there's a lot of big ticket items, and it's time that we need to catch up. And this tax, it has a sunset on it, so during this time frame of 12 years, we can't buy all this at once. Obviously, it'll be spread out, but at least we can start and get drawings done, and then once it is constructed, then you take those next few years and get the project paid off.
All righty, and we've got a couple more shout outs. Chris Sewell says, can't thank the JPD enough for everything that they do. Janindo Vincent says, our JPD is the best. Everyone needs to attend JPD's Community Police Academy, get involved and help our city. And shout out to Brad Dillon. All right, so we're going to bring Officer Hagens and Officer Merrill on now. Officer Hagens, you are currently a field training officer, and you have Officer Merrill here with you that you are training. So let's talk a little bit about your role as a field training officer.
Okay, he will be with me as a field training officer for 5 weeks. My job is to it starts in the classroom, and then the academy, and then it goes back to field training officer. Sometimes it doesn't work in that order, but that's usually how it works. You go first phase, second phase, and then now we're putting them with a week with traffic, since we have so many accidents. I just work a week with traffic. My job in the second phase is to, let me back up. First phase is kind of like getting his feet wet, if he's not already certified. Show him, basically first aspect is safety. It's first, make sure he's, doing all the safety things in order. And then, for as training, make sure that he know which laws apply, and policy and procedure, criminal code, don't violate nobody's rights. I got 5 rules that I give. One of them is, don't violate nobody's rights, and one of them is don't wreck my car. But make sure that his driving is up to par and all of that. And then we get into the aspect of, reports, how to talk to people, how to file reports, what you can and can't do. And then during the fifth phase, I kind of like during the second phase, probably the second week before he's released or go on his ghost ride, I'm kind of like just shadowing. I'll let him handle the call. He talk on the radio. He get to the call. He if it's another officer need assistance, I'm gonna see if he's gonna volunteer. And then he'll go into the ghost ride, where basically a sergeant is sitting in the car with him, and he's just there to document him, and he's basically on his own. So the program helped me, because you have that officer in the car with you at that time when you can ask questions. What about this? Did I say this right? Did I handle this right? My thing was I talked low, and so I was like, I'm kind of like shy. So my field training officer was like, hey, you're gonna have to speak up if you're gonna do this job. So it's kind of one of those where it became a safety issue because of the way, because I'm just a friendly guy. I'm like, hey, how you doing? And they're like, no, you can do that at a certain point, but when it's actually fighting, hey, how you doing, is not gonna work. Mr. Hagens, you're gonna have to, so it's kind of one of those things where he's getting prepared to be on his own.
All right, so Officer Merrill, kind of give your thoughts on how's thing going, and what's the best piece of advice that Officer Hagens has given you so far?
Well, I'm having a blast during my field training so far. I mean, I've done 5 weeks on second shift. Did my week of traffic already, but Officer Hagens has been teaching me a lot. the biggest thing is like officer safety, and even if I get close to being too relaxed when maybe I shouldn't be, he always pulls me back a little bit and points it out to me.
Okay, and what made you decide to join the Jonesboro Police Department?
Well, I was in the military for 7.5 years, and it was time for me to get out. And
what branch?
Army.
Okay.
Yeah, and being a police officer was kind of the closest thing that I had from what I was doing. And I've had other family members that were in law enforcement, so it just kind of felt like the right thing to do.
Okay. Well, we definitely wish you the best on your future journey as a police officer. I definitely think the military training will probably be of assistance to you. And Officer Higgins definitely is a good guy, and I'm sure that he definitely can impart lots of knowledge and wisdom upon you as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, go ahead, Officer Higgins.
I was just going to say, I hope so.
Okay. All right, so Officer Higgins, you've been with the department for some time now, so
going on 6 years.
6 years. So, kind of just give your reflections on your time in the police department from when you first started to now.
Well, I've learned a lot, and you see things from in a uniform that you don't see from out of the uniform. Some things good and some things bad. I understand now why officers do what they do, and I understand what people think when we do what we do. Why did he talk to me like that? Well, at this point, it was a safety issue. I can't keep saying and repeating and over. It's a safety issue. So, I'm not trying to be mean. Whereas when I was sitting in the car, state troopers say that I was like, he mean, so so I've learned in that aspect, and also learned that people are people, man. People are, they have problems just like everybody else do, and my job is to try to help them, not necessarily solve their problems, but trying to guide them or give them directions. I look at my job as a problem solver, not necessarily somebody that's just pointing a finger and giving authority. I like to think that I'm a problem solver. I like to leave people on my calls in a better situation than when I arrived. Whether it's, sometimes we have to, you just have to take people to jail. But I've had people to say, just the other day, a female said, you remember me? And I was like, no. And she said, that's because I gained weight. I just got out of rehab. Just by simply, her boyfriend had assaulted her. By simply not just coming to the apartment and considering me just another, drug head, you took the time and actually took the report and talked to me like a human. I went from that to rehab, and I just got out of rehab, and now she's really having a hard time now finding a job. So when I ride through the neighborhood, I wave, and she was like, I'm having a hard time, Officer Higgins. I was like, keep your head up. I can't give her money, and I can't employ her, but I can encourage her.
Absolutely. And I want to transition into my next topic. Officer Higgins, obviously, you being a African-American member of the police department, you have encounters on the street with fellow African-Americans, especially males. And you mentioned earlier about, knowing from the officer's perspective, but also from the citizen's perspective. So when you are encountering an African-American male on the street, knowing that we have this mentality ingrained in this, a lot of us to have a bit of apprehension and fear because of negative encounters that we see all the time. How do you approach that as an officer? Obviously, you mentioned your safety is first and foremost, but preserving your safety while also making sure that you do what you have to do so that everyone can leave the situation with the most positive manner possible. Everyone, even if, person gets a ticket, everyone gets to go home and live to see another day.
I try to, unless I really know a person, and that's on any encounter, whether traffic stop or, just by patrol, I try to keep it common ground, and that's not based on, status or race or nothing like that. I keep it common ground. So it's yes sir, no sir. I address them just like they address me. Well, take that back. I address them yes sir, no sir. But, it is you can kind of feel sometimes just you can feel the tension. I don't get it as much as people think that we get it from other African American males. Just kind of like a courtesy thing, you know. I know you got to do your job. The ones that's usually, and I say usually, as are, you know, hands up, don't shoot me, it's usually the ones that's trying to hide something. You know, they're trying to deter you from searching this car to get, you know, this dope or whatever. But I don't encounter that from a lot of African American males. But on the flip side, I can understand, you know, and I'm not throwing it all on social media, because, you know, we have officers, policemen have our own part of the problem too. But so I'm not gonna throw it out all on social media or media. But you know, when you walk up to that car, those guys will watch those videotapes on the news, and they've seen what happened, and they've seen those clips. So, you know, to say that they're not genuinely scared would be, you know.
And absolutely not. And I want to transition into the incident that happened in Helena, which is actually my own hometown, with the young man who had his hands out, and the officer said, "Turn your car off." He said, "No, I'm not going to turn my car off because you're going to shoot me," because the officer's already said, "I see you have a gun." And to be honest with you, in the same situation, I may have reacted the same way, because like you're told to comply, and obviously in the perfect way you want to comply, but you know, in a situation like that, I'm assuming this young man's thinking, if I comply with this order, I may risk getting shot. So I'm gonna just not comply and just keep my hands in this position and hope that the worst thing happens to me is I just get arrested, but I don't get shot. And again, that's, be honest with you, the same situation. I may have felt the same way, would have had that nervousness and apprehension because there's a gun in my face.
I'm not gonna sit here and second guess the officer, and I'm not gonna, you know, with the guy, I wasn't looking down the barrel of the officer's gun, so I'm not gonna second guess the guy either. But what I will say is, a gun in the vehicle, if the officer seen the gun in the vehicle, I don't know where he's seen it. I don't know that part about it. But, you know, so for me to say, you know, oh, he should have known better or that, I'm not gonna say that. But I will say, if, you know, if he's reaching, you know, I want to see your hands. So if he's reaching, I don't see his hands. So I'm gonna tell him to hold tight until my backup get there. Just don't move. Don't move. You keep your foot on the brake, whatever you need to do, but don't move. And we can say there, I got officers that's coming, because I've said gun, they're coming. And so we can sit here until we're not in no rush, you know. I'm not on a time limit where I have to have this particular call wrapped up, so we can sit here until backup get here, and we can do this as what we call a felony traffic stop.
Got about 40 seconds. Chief, want to kind of get your quick thoughts on what Officer Higgins and I have been discussing.
Well, sure. Everything is about officer safety. I want the men and women of the department to go home at the end of shift every day. So we stress officer safety during their training and all the way through. But, you know, more important, we teach our officers de-escalation tactics and methods. So a lot of these encounters you see across the country could have been overcome by just some additional training. So we do a lot of training in the department. We're proud of our training, and I think we here have avoided a lot of incidents that you see across the country due to the fact that our men and women are well trained.
All right, Chief, well, thank you for that. We're going to go to our final break, but don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more of the Jonesboro Police Department.
You're listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM. We'll be right back.
We're back with Money Matters. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. There's more to budgeting than calculators and spreadsheets. According to BlackEnterprise.com contributor Patrice C. Washington, known as the Wisdom and Wealth Money Maven, budgeting starts with your mindset and setting the right intention. Here's what else Washington urges you to focus on as you approach the budgeting process. Simplicity. Just list what directly deals with your situation and eliminate additional fluff. Flexibility. The budgeting process must be designed to be flexible. Your budget will change from month to month. For example, if you go over in one category, it should be accounted for next month, or greater efforts should be made to prevent those overruns in the future. If you want to spend more money, you have to figure out a way to earn more money. Don't get frustrated. It's just basic math. For more wisdom on wealth from Patrice C. Washington, go to patricewashington.com. I'm Alfred Edmond Jr. for Money Matters, a product of American Urban Radio Networks.
Money Matters is made possible by the Jonesboro Alumni Chapter of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, a nonprofit organization focused on joy in our sisterhood, power in our voice, and service in our hearts. www.jonesboroalumnidst.org.
Money Matters is brought to you by Bancorp South, offering checking, savings, loans, credit cards, and wealth management. 5 locations in Jonesboro to serve you. www.bancorpsouth.com or 870-972-9800.
Money Matters is brought to you by the Gears Foundation, a nonprofit organization providing students with assistance in their academic and career pursuits. Gears Foundation on Facebook, Gears_Inc. on Instagram, and the Gears Foundation at gmail.com.
KLEK thanks CJ Pepper and the staff of Life Strategies Counseling Incorporated for helping people through hard times in life such as depression, family issues, stress, abuse, and more. They offer counseling and therapy for all ages, individuals, families, and groups. They are located at 1217 Stone Street. Phone number 1-866-972-1268 or online at lscihelp.com.
The McDaniel Law Firm, 400 South Main Street in Jonesboro, is a firm believer in justice and equality for the minority community. The McDaniel Law Firm has fought for our rights for over 44 years. The McDaniel Law Firm offers legal help for wrongful death as well as trucking and automobile accidents. Bobby and Brett McDaniel are available for a free consultation at 870-336-4747 or at www.mcdaniellawyers.com.
The key to making this station even better could be parked in your driveway right now. Donate your old car to us, you'll get a tax deduction, and we'll tow it away for free.
Go to klekfm.org for more information.
The Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated was established on January 1st, 1977, originally serving Blytheville, Arkansas, and now serving Jonesboro, Blytheville, Osceola, Marion, and West Memphis, Arkansas. Today, the chapter continues to make an impact by focusing on Alpha's national community outreach initiatives such as My Brother's Keeper, A Voteless People is a Hopeless People, Go to High School, Go to College, Project Alpha, Boy Scouts, and the March of Dimes. The Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is committed to Alpha's mission of developing leaders, promoting brotherhood and academic excellence, while providing service and advocacy to the community. More information about the Mu Omicron Lambda chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated is available at MOL Alphas on Facebook or via email at molalphas@gmail.com.
Hello, I'm Officer Victoria Evans. I have always had a desire to help others in need and to be an example and role model to young women by encouraging them to never give up on their dreams. My dream was to become a police officer and to serve my community. In 2016, that dream became a reality, and it is the most rewarding experience of my life. Now I want to let you know about the same opportunity. The Jonesboro Police Department will conduct testing every month for patrol officers. Applications are available online at jonesboropolice.com or at the Police Department, 1001 South Caraway Road. The Jonesboro Police Department offers a competitive salary, health, and retirement benefits, top-of-the-line training, and most importantly, the chance to make a difference in the Jonesboro community. Join me in making Jonesboro a better place. The Jonesboro Police Department is an equal opportunity employer, and women and minorities are especially encouraged to apply. More information is available at 870-935-5657.
And now back to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM.
And we're back on Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM with members of the Jonesboro Police Department, Jonesboro Police Chief Rick Elliott, Public Information Specialist Sally Smith, and Officers Jonathan Higgins and Brian Merrill. So we got a couple other events coming up, Chief. We got the Moms Demand Action event that's going to be this Saturday, I believe,
Saturday.
at Fisher Street.
Right.
And, of course, KLK will be DJing, and JPD will be there as well.
Absolutely be there. And, a great project. Anytime you get a group of citizens together and trying to work on issues in your community, that is a great start. And we'd just like to encourage more people to maybe get involved this weekend and come on out. And, we'll start this event out, Saturday, but hopefully it will carry over into other meetings and discussions so we can address, concerns in our community.
All right. We got a couple Facebook shout to Brad Dillon, our own brother Cobbs, who will be on at 11 o'clock because this is All Gospel Wednesday. Adrian Everett and Nakia Porter Casey says Officer Higgins has been a true asset to me and my family as well as many others on several occasions. He is definitely fair and consistent, but when you have a heart for the people like he does, it allows us as citizens to see and know we have amazing officers here in Jonesboro. The integrity definitely coincides with the badge. So Officer Higgins, how does it feel to get that kind of compliment on the job that you do?
Makes me, want to just keep doing the job as best as I can. I call him, I think I know who that is, Nakia Casey. I call him Captain. That's what he calls me Chief, and I call him Captain. And I tell him not yet. So it's
well, your boy Officer Racy made sergeant, so.
And I started too late. I ain't got about 10, 15 more years.
Hey, don't matter how long it take to get there.
It does not.
Long as you do it.
But yeah, I enjoy the job. Do I have a good day every day? No. Do I see some things that I wish I wouldn't have seen, or I wish I can unsee? Yes. But overall, I enjoy the job.
Absolutely. And our very own Quabila Jones checks in and says, "Good morning." Well, good morning. Definitely wish you were here.
Absolutely.
Everyone loves the Queen.
Yes. That's right.
All right, so we just wrapped up Citizens Police Academy Session 9.
Absolutely. Another great session of our CPA program, and I guess this puts us over 260 something.
You're going to lose count before long.
At this point, and we're still going to run the program twice a year. Always great feedback from the people that participate in it. And I think it's just a great way to educate the community on what we do, how we do it, day in and day out. So we will have a fall session of the Academy. The information will be posted on our website, and you can download and fill out an application online now. And at this point, we've already have 13, 15 applicants, have already submitted. The class size will be limited to about 28. That's a pretty comfortable class size for our training room. So if anyone has an interest, we'd like to encourage you to get signed up as soon as possible, because we think it will fill up way before the start date.
All right, got a couple more shout outs. Shout out to Jeff Presley. And Quabila says, Chief, will we see you next Saturday?
This coming Saturday?
Next Saturday for Juneteenth.
Juneteenth? Yeah. Yes.
You know, if you said no, Q was going to be mad at you.
No. Both events, I plan on being there. So it's we have two great events coming up, and my intentions are being there.
And we definitely look forward to seeing you. As we talked about off air, Chief Elliott definitely attends community events. He's out in the community. So if you are hosting a community event and you want Chief Elliott to come, just say hello, say a few words, or just to lend his presence, give him a call at the police department, and if he has his schedule available, he will definitely come out. So, Chief, got 2 minutes. Anything left that you want to talk about that we did not bring up?
No, I think we covered a wide variety of topics today, and I appreciate everybody that came and spoke. And to the community, I always appreciate your support for the men and women of the Jonesboro Police Department. They're here to protect you day in and day out, and a thank you back to them every now and then goes a long way, because this is a thankless job, and they don't hear it enough.
All right, got another quick announcement from J. Nindle Vincent. FPO Fishing Derby this Saturday.
Nope, the FOP Fishing Derby. Yes, that is also coming up. So great point. But anyway, To stay up to date on Jonesboro Police Department, what's going on, again, check us out on Facebook or our new JonesboroPolice.com website that's been revamped. And you can learn all about the department, keep up with the reports, our monthly reports on traffic and crime reporting, crime mapping. It's all out there for the public to see. And, of course, our annual report, the year in review, is also online for you to look at. So we're here to serve you and protect you, and we appreciate any concerns that you may have, and we also appreciate your support for what we do day in, day out.
All right, Officer Merrill, any final comments? Putting you on the spot.
No, I just appreciate being here and appreciate the opportunity to do this job.
All right, Sally, you have anything?
If you have any questions, just contact me. I'll be glad to provide what information I can.
Officer Hagen, like, don't pass the mic to me. So we'll just say, you got any shout-outs you want to give Officer Hagen? So we'll make yours easy. Just any shout-outs you want to give.
I always give a shout-out to my wife, Keisha Higgins.
All right, Keisha, if you're listening, shout-out to you. All right, that's going to do it for us. Don't forget, we got great gospel music all day long. You guys have a great and blessed day. You're tuned into Community Conversations, and this is KLEK on 2.5 FM.
Thank you for listening to Community Conversations on KLEK 102.5 FM, a program focusing on the people working to make the Jonesboro community a better place while offering viewpoints from all sides of the issues. The views expressed in this program are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of KLEK 102.5 FM, the voice of Arkansas Minority Advocacy Council, or our underwriters or sponsors.